Hey, it's me, Riker. Today we're going to have a look at the brand new Awakened hero, Athalia, Harbinger of Truth. Now, this hero is part of the Celestial faction, whereas leather-based gear is part of the warrior class, and her primary role is to provide a massive amount of damage for your allies and also provide secondary buffs for your allies to make them more effective. So let's have a look at her skills. Her ultimate skill, Divine Descent. Athalia creates a judgment sphere, targeting the enemy hero with the highest attack rating, dealing damage to a target while knocking back all other enemies within range. Then she uses all her sacred blades. This is the little blades that encircle her or her aura-like effect to additionally damage the target. The level 2, the cooldown time of the skill Ripping Slash, this is her normal attack, is reset immediately after her ultimate A is used. So Ripping Slash is the dash-like effect where she can hit multiple enemies in the same duration of time. The level 3, when a Judgment Sphere is a little circle that appears around that specific enemy hero is created, most of the target's buffs will be dispelled. While a Judgment Sphere exists, the skill Ripping Slash will only attack the target with multiple slashes. So this allows you to focus down one specific enemy hero so you can deal massive amounts of damage to that enemy hero and essentially allow you to one-shot them before they had a chance to do any other damage. So to look at our next ability, Ripping Slash. So as I mentioned before, this is the dash-like effect. Athalia traverses the battlefield, slashing 3 enemy heroes with the highest attack rating for 3 times. Level 2. When an enemy suffers multiple slashes, each round of the damage they receive from the skill is increased. So this is an increase of 30% each time the same enemy is slashed. So this is a pretty significant buff. The level 3, a slash from this skill deals additional damage. The level 4, the number of slashes this skill can inflict is increased by 1 time. So this is an increase to 4. The level 5, after Athalia kills an enemy hero, the cooldown time of the skill is reduced and she immediately gains 2 sacred blades. So the sacred blades are the little blades that encircle Athalia. So let's have a look at the next ability, Dancing Blades, which has a passive and an active component as well. The passive, all damage and health loss suffered by Athalia from behind is reduced by 45%. The active, Athalia deals damage to enemies within a certain range multiple times. So this is a small area around her, while the skill's passive effects mitigate damage and health loss from all directions. During the skill, Athalia is immune to control effects. The level 2. The skill dispels most of Athalia's debuffs after the skill ends. Athalia will deal additional magic damage for the subsequent 5 times she deals damage, and level 3, the lower Athalia's health percentage is, the higher damage reduction from the skill's effects. So let's have a look. It can go all the way up to 65% damage reduction if the enemy is attacking her from behind. So her next ability, Sword Crafter. For every 6 times Athalia has dealt damage, she receives 1 sacred blade. So this is the little blades that encircle her. She can hold up to 6 sacred blades at a time. Damage dealt by Athalia is increased based on her and her target's current health percentages. So as we can see, the lower the enemy's health, the more damage she'll be able to deal to the enemy target. So the level 2, when an allied hero uses their ultimate skill, Athalia receives 1 sacred blade. This effect can only be triggered once every 5 seconds by each allied hero. When an allied hero dies, Athalia receives 2 sacred blades. So essentially this allows it to supercharge Athalia each time one of her allies dies. The level 3, each time Athalia gains 1 sacred blade, Athalia deals damage for 180% of her attack rating to the enemy with the highest energy, ignoring the target's defense and reducing the current energy by 20%. So let's have a look at her awakened ability that she gains and provides to all of her allies. Piercing Aura. Every 5 sacred blades. Now Athalia can hold up to a maximum of 6 sacred blades. Athalia receives a permanent increase to her damage and physical pierce for herself and all allied heroes. So this is a 10% increase, which can be stacked up to 3 times. So this is 30% increased damage and 18 points of physical pierce that she can provide for her allies. In addition, when an allied hero receives a control effect, the attacker takes damage equal to 200% of Athalia's attack rating and is unable to recover energy in the next 4 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once every 10 seconds by each allied hero. So let's have a look at how she does in battle. Now, this hero invades the enemy lines as soon as she walks into the battle. So you can place her either on the front row or on the back line, and she'll do extremely well by dealing a massive amount of damage to the enemy heroes. So let's have a look at how she does in battle. So as we can see over here, in this specific team formation, I'm only going to use Athalia, and I'm not going to add any other heroes in this specific battle formation. Now, as we can see, when I start the battle, she'll spawn and immediately teleport to the highest attack rating hero, and she'll slash the enemies and one-shot all of them in a couple of strikes. There we go, and she's one-shotted all the enemies by herself. Now, as we can see over here, she did a massive amount of damage to the enemies while also reducing a significant amount of damage as well. Now, if you missed that, I'm going to play another enemy over here. Now, once again, she is able to dodge enemy attacks. So as we can see over here, because Athalia is the only hero over here, Thorin will throw his taint ability onto Athalia. Now, because Athalia can dodge this taint, this will essentially allow you to mitigate even more damage and allow you to one-shot the enemies even faster. So let's have a look at this specific battle over here. So as we can see, as soon as she starts battle, she'll dodge Thorin's taint and she'll immediately start with a ripping slash. This is the dash-like effect, and this is her ultimate, as we can see over here, with the little sphere over here on the ground, where this dispels the enemy's buffs and allows you to do even more damage to the enemies. There we go. We have one-shotted 4 out of the 5 enemy heroes, and we are waiting for Thorin to resurrect over here. So there we go. There was the ripping slash over there. So let's have a look at how she does at a much higher level deficit. Now, she can be used in a variety of teams, either burst or stall-based teams. So as we can see over here, in this specific team, this is an invade-based team where essentially you push all the enemies into their own line, and because of the buffs from Scrake, essentially your entire team will be buffed by Scrake, allowing Athalia to do massive amounts of damage into the enemy heroes. Now, once again, this is a stall-based team over here, as we can see, where most of the damage is coming from Awakened Baden and Awakened Athalia. However, I would recommend putting her in burst-based teams, as this will allow her to essentially deal more damage because of a ripping slash, which allows her to hit multiple targets in one single ability. And this essentially allows you to ramp up her damage as quickly as possible. Now, in this specific team over here, she is paired up with Auna. This will provide Awakened Athalia the immunity to damage for the first couple of seconds of battle. And this will essentially allow Awakened Athalia to ramp up and start dealing more and more damage over time. So as we can see, there's the ripping slash. Now, as we can see, the little dancing blades over here, that was the swirling blades that hit multiple enemies. Now, here's the ultimate, where she'll essentially form a circle on the ground, dispelling the enemy's buffs, and this will hit an enemy target multiple times with her ultimate ability. This is the massive spear that comes out of the sky and one-shots the enemies. There we go. There's her little attack. There's the ripping slash, which she dashes across the screen. Now we can see our ultimate ability, one-shotting this enemy Valorous over here. There's the ripping slash that is immediately used after her ultimate skill. There we go. There's ripping slash once again. Now she's going to use her ultimate and one-shot this enemy Daemon over here. There we go. So let's speed up this battle over here. And she is able to easily deal with this Thorin by herself. There we go. We have seen how she's extremely effective at dealing damage to her enemies. Now, What is the minimum investment that I would recommend getting into this hero? I would highly recommend, similar to other Awakened heroes, getting her to 1 star, 30 signature item, 9 furniture, and 60 engravings, as this allows her to reach her maximum potential. In addition, because she is a warrior, you would like to also additionally invest into the warrior outer tree, as this will further boost her effectiveness, where she can gain additional secondary stats and primary stats such as HP, attack, and defense. This will significantly boost her effectiveness and allow her to deal even more damage. So currently she's extremely effective in battle and is used in a wide variety of game modes such as Cursed Realm and in PvP. So we'll have to wait and see over time as more players get to build this specific hero and get to test her and use it to her peak potential in AFK Arena.